The global pickup truck market is about to flip, and most buyers don't even see it coming. There's a Japanese pickup you can buy brand new for under $10,000. Not used, not damaged, and it will probably outlast every truck on this list. But here's what's wild. It's not even the most interesting truck we're covering today. Chinese brands are flooding global markets with aggressive pricing. American trucks keep growing in size, complexity, and cost. And somewhere in the middle of all that chaos, Japan quietly decided it was done playing defense. In 2026, Japanese automakers are launching, refreshing, and completely reinventing their pickup lineups. Some of these trucks are expected, some are genuinely shocking. And here's a number that should reframe everything you're about to watch. Compact pickups are now growing twice as fast as full-size trucks globally. The market didn't shift slowly, and it flipped almost overnight. We're counting down 10 of the most compelling Japanese pickups of 2026, skipping the obvious choices and focusing only on the trucks that actually deserve your attention. Stay until the end, because the number one pick costs less than a used motorcycle, and it might be the most intelligently designed vehicle on this entire list. Number 10. Honda Ridgeline. This truck might embarrass the traditional ones, and it doesn't even try to look like them. The 2026 Honda Ridgeline exists because Honda looked at decades of truck ownership data and confronted an uncomfortable truth. Most truck buyers never tow anything meaningful. They buy capability they never use and pay for a rough ride they endure every single day. So Honda built a truck for reality instead of fantasy. No ladder frame, no massive diesel. The 3.5-liter V6 pushes 280 horsepower through intelligent AWD and a smooth automatic. The ride feels closer to a well-tuned SUV than a work truck. The bed has a lockable underfloor storage compartment, genuinely useful for anyone who's ever had tools stolen from an open bed. The tailgate opens sideways or drops down, which sounds minor until you've wrestled a traditional tailgate at an awkward angle. Starting at $42,000, it's not cheap. But for the urban professional who needs a truck that doesn't punish them during the commute, nothing in Japan touches it. The Ridgeline doesn't pretend to be something it's not. That's exactly what makes it worth considering. Number 9. Mitsubishi L200 Triton. Now here's where things get controversial. The Triton spent 2 decades being dismissed as the budget alternative to the Hilux. Mitsubishi knew it, the market knew it, and in 2026, Mitsubishi decided they were finished accepting that narrative. The L200 Triton exists because the Hilux got complacent, and someone had to call it out. Completely rebuilt from the ground up. Stiffer chassis, longer suspension travel, a new 2.4-liter twin-turbo diesel producing 200 horsepower and 470 newton-meters of torque. That's more torque than the standard Toyota Hilux. Most people don't know that. Most people buying Hiluxes right now don't know that. Super select 4WD 4-drive modes including proper 4-low, an exterior design that finally looks aggressive instead of apologetic. Starting price, $30,000. A truck that beats the Hilux on torque, matches it off-road, and undercuts it by nearly $20,000 in base trim. If you're still choosing based on badge loyalty alone in 2026, the Triton is exactly what you deserve to miss. Number 8. Nissan Navara. This next one exists because most truck buyers only think about their own market and completely ignore what the rest of the world already figured out. The 2026 Navara is the most globally battle-tested Japanese pickup in existence. It sells across Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Markets where reliability isn't a feature, it's a survival requirement. The 2.3-liter twin-turbo diesel delivers 190 horsepower and 450 newton-meters through a 7-speed automatic. The double wishbone front suspension produces a ride quality that catches everyone off guard. Fuel consumption sits at 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. Here's what almost nobody talks about. The Navara shares its platform with the Renault Alaskan and the discontinued Mercedes-Benz X-Class. You're driving Mercedes-adjacent engineering at a starting price of $28,000. Parts are cheap, mechanics everywhere know it, and it just keeps working, without needing anyone to notice. Number 7. Subaru Baja. Subaru killed the original Baja in 2006. For nearly 20 years, compact lifestyle pickups were considered a niche too small to bother with. Then Ford launched the Maverick, and it sold out immediately. Hyundai launched the Santa Cruz. Same story. The Baja exists because the market spent 20 years telling buyers they were wrong for wanting it. They weren't wrong. The 2026 Baja returns with a 2.4-liter turbocharged boxer engine, 270 horsepower, and symmetrical AWD standard on every version. X-Mode terrain management handles snow, mud, and loose terrain with quiet confidence. Payload, 600 kilograms. Towing, 2,000 kilograms. Fuel consumption, 9 liters per 100 kilometers. Starting at $34,000, it targets the Maverick and Santa Cruz directly, but brings Subaru's cult reliability reputation to a fight neither competitor is fully equipped for. The Baja isn't for job sites. It's for the person the truck industry ignored for 2 decades. That person was never going away. We're now entering the top 6, and this is where things get genuinely strange. Toyota is about to appear on this list 3 times. Not because we're Toyota fans, but because in 2026, Toyota made 3 completely different bets on what the future of the pickup looks like. And one of them might be Toyota's biggest mistake in years. You'll know which one when we get there. Number 6. Toyota Hilux Electric. Here's where Japan made its riskiest bet. The Hilux Electric exists because Toyota looked at tightening global emissions regulations and made a decision. Better to electrify their most trusted nameplate themselves than let legislators do it for them. The execution: dual motors, 1 per axle, 180 horsepower, 400 newton meters of instant torque, 59 kilowatt-hour battery, estimated 240 kilometers real-world range, 80% charge in 1 hour at 50 kilowatts fast charging. The payload drops to 800 kilograms. Towing falls to 2,000 kilograms. And the price hits $65,000, more than almost anything else on this list. The Hilux community's reaction has been divided in a way that's almost uncomfortable to watch. Purists feel betrayed. Fleet managers are cautiously intrigued. And Toyota is watching both groups carefully. Here's the honest read. The Hilux Electric is not a replacement. It's a controlled experiment using Toyota's most valuable brand name as the testing ground. What they learn will shape every truck they build for the next 20 years. Whether that makes it brave or reckless, the market is still deciding. Number 5. Toyota Hilux GR Sport. But this next truck is what happens when Toyota stops being cautious entirely. The GR Sport exists because Gazoo Racing, the division that wins, rallies, and builds the GR Yaris, looked at the Hilux and asked one question nobody had bothered asking before. Why isn't this fun to drive? Same 2.8-liter diesel. Torque a bump to 480 newton meters. Bilstein shocks, reinforced springs, thicker stabilizer bars, 18-inch all-terrain tires, Alcantara sport seats, flat-bottom steering wheel. Body roll is noticeably reduced. Corner handling is sharper. The truck still carries a full ton and tows 3,500 kilograms. It just does it while actually engaging the driver, starting at $55,000. For the Toyota enthusiast who always wanted a Hilux that drove like it had something to prove, 2026 is finally the answer. Number 4. Isuzu D-Max. Now here's where things get interesting again. The D-Max exists because Isuzu spent decades building commercial trucks before anyone else, and that knowledge goes places other manufacturers simply can't follow. Most people don't realize the legendary Chevrolet D-Max that became synonymous with indestructibility across South America and Southeast Asia was built by Isuzu. The reputation was always theirs. The badge just changed. The 3.0-liter diesel, 190 horsepower, 450 newton meters, full-ton payload, 3,500 kilograms towing. Numbers that don't need defending. But here's the 2026 twist that genuinely surprised the industry. The electric D-Max matches the diesel's payload and towing numbers exactly. 1 ton, 3,500 kilograms, with a 67 kilowatt-hour battery delivering an estimated 300 kilometers of real range. Compare that to the Hilux Electric, which compromised both figures significantly. Isuzu didn't compromise anything. They just removed the engine and kept the capability. Fleet operators are paying very close attention, and they should be. Number 3. 9th generation Toyota Hilux a decade. That's how long the previous generation carried the weight of being the world's most trusted pickup. The 9th generation Hilux exists because Toyota understands one thing better than any competitor. Trust, once built, must be maintained with obsessive consistency. One bad generation erases decades of reputation, so they didn't gamble. They refined everything. The ladder frame is 20% more torsionally rigid. The 2.8-liter diesel now produces 490 newton meters, up from 450. The 8-speed automatic shifts imperceptibly. The interior has a 12-inch screen, 10-inch digital cluster, and materials that finally feel chosen by designers rather than accountants. Rear passenger space actually fits adults now. Base price, $48,000. Fully loaded Legend trim, $70,000. Expensive? Yes. But properly maintained Hiluxes from previous generations are documented beyond 500,000 kilometers. You're not buying a truck. You're buying a decades-long relationship with a vehicle that refuses to quit. The 9th generation isn't revolutionary. It's something harder to achieve. It's reliably, measurably better in every single way that matters. Number 2. Toyota Tacoma. Before we get to number 1, there's a truck the North American market simply won't let us skip. The Tacoma exists because millions of buyers want real off-road capability without full-size truck prices or fuel bills. For decades, nothing has answered that need better, and the 2026 update finally modernizes the formula. A 2.4-liter turbo 4-cylinder delivering 278 horsepower. An optional hybrid V6 pushing 326 combined horsepower. Fox suspension and a locking rear differential on the legendary TRD Pro. Towing 3,500 kilograms, starting at $38,000. But the real reason people choose a Tacoma over everything else? Resale value. No mid-size truck holds its worth like this one, and the aftermarket community built around it is unmatched. You're not just buying a truck, you're buying into an ecosystem that pays you back for years. Number 1. Suzuki Carry. And this is what the entire list has been pointing to. Every truck we've covered today represents the industry's answer to one question. What should a pickup truck be in 2026? Bigger, more powerful, electric, smarter, more premium? The Suzuki Carry answers that question by ignoring it completely. The Carry exists because in most of the world, a full-size pickup is not just unaffordable, it's physically unusable. Narrow streets, rural markets, tight alleyways, confined fields, the Hilux simply won't fit. The Carry was built for the reality that billions of people actually live in. 660 cubic centimeters, 3-cylinder, 39 horsepower, a cargo bed offering 2 full meters of usable space on a truck only 3.4 meters long, 4-wheel drive with low-range gearing, 5 liters per 100 kilometers fuel consumption. Any mechanic on Earth can fix it. Parts cost almost nothing. The 2026 refresh adds minor styling updates and small cabin improvements, and deliberately touches nothing else, because nothing else needs touching. Base price, €8,500. Top all-wheel drive automatic version, €11,000. The Carry has been working this way since the 1960s. It has outlasted trends, recessions, and entire generations of competitors who thought small meant irrelevant. It doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be fast. It doesn't need to be noticed. It just needs to work. Every day, for decades, without complaint. And that is exactly what it does. From €8,500 to $70,000. From 39 horsepower to 280. From K-trucks to electrified legends. Japan's 2026 pickup lineup isn't just competitive, it's a direct answer to every direction the market is pulling at once. But here's the question worth sitting with. Did Japan just prove that the future of pickups isn't about power at all? Because if the Carry outsells half this list, and in many markets it will, then the entire industry has been asking the wrong question for years. If this video challenged how you think about trucks, hit that like button. It takes 1 second and tells us to keep making videos that go this deep. Subscribe and turn on notifications because we're dropping head-to-head comparisons, real ownership cost breakdowns, and reliability deep dives on several of these trucks very soon. You'll want those before spending $1. And in the comments, we want the debate. Are trucks getting smarter or just more expensive? Drop your answer below. Let's find out where you stand.